to VHS Voyage, where we are on a journey to find VHS tapes that we have never seen or never heard of. I'm Matt.
I'm Devin.
And in today's episode, we are going to take a look at
Renegades.
So in today's episode, we are going to take a look at a movie released in 1989 called Renegades. But before we get into the discussion, Devin, what kind of facts and information do you have for us for Renegades?
Not a lot for this one.
Okay.
But this is directed by Jack Shoulder. He's known for Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, which blows. It's one of the worst ones. I don't want to talk about that day. He's known for The Hidden and Arachnid, which aren't very well-known movies. They didn't really have a lot of ratings. You're thinking of Arachnophobia.
You said Arachnid?
Yeah.
Huh.
Arachnid was like a straight to sci-fi movie. It had a 2 out of 10. It's written by David Rich, that never wrote any other movies.
Really?
This is the only movie he ever wrote.
Just Renegades, huh?
Yeah. And he had a really short film career. He didn't do anything like past the mid-90s. $60 million budget.
Okay.
Made $9 million, so it definitely didn't make its money back. And that's $9 million worldwide.
Yikes.
So
That's
it lost
not
$7
good.
million.
Yeah.
Okay, time for the tradition.
Okay.
You gotta try to guess the
Okay.
IMDb score.
Okay, IMDb score. I'm thinking 5 out of 10.
A little bit higher.
A little bit higher?
It's in the 5s though.
Okay. 5.5.
5.4.
5.4? Okay.
5.4.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not high. It's just a little bit above average, halfway. Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, Rotten Tomatoes seems to always be a lot different, so I'm going to go critic 30, user 40.
Okay, this time the critic score is actually higher than the user.
Really?
Critic is 33.
Okay.
And user is 28.
Woo.
So it's low on both ends.
Damn, okay.
I don't think people really like this movie.
Yeah.
It stars Kiefer Sutherland, 24,
Mhm.
Lost Boys, Stand By Me, and Phone Booth are his most reviewed titles on IMDb. It's got Lou Diamond Phillips from Young Guns, also in 24, Courage Under Fire, and La Bamba, and Jamie Gertz, who has also starred with Kiefer Sutherland before in The Lost Boys, also known for Twister and Less Than Zero.
Now, there's actually one actor in it that I recognize.
Oh, really?
Yes, the guy that played the villain Marino. I think his name is like Robert Napper. I can't remember what his name is, but he played one of the most despicable characters in Prison Break, the TV series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his character in Prison Break was just the freaking most despicable human being that I've seen in pretty much any show. Now, I was excited for this one because of Kiefer Sutherland, but the only thing that I'm really a fan of Kiefer, I've never actually seen Lost Boys, never seen Young Guns. The only thing I'm really a big fan of Kiefer Sutherland was 24.
Yeah.
I've watched every single season of 24. Love that show. Lou Diamond Phillips, I also like. I've seen him in some stuff. Most notably, he is in a show called Longmire, which is kind of a modern Western, and it's pretty good. Let's get into the story. Now, Devin, I'm going to do something a little bit different for the story. You ready? Humor me if you will. Kiefer Sutherland plays a no-nonsense, rough-around-the-edges cop named Buster McHenry, who goes undercover in a diamond heist operation that goes south fast. As they flee from police pursuit, they end up in a Lakota Indian exhibit, and our villain Marino steals an ancient Indian artifact spear and kills the brother of our other protagonist, a Lakota tribe member named Hank, played by Lou Diamond Phillips. He goes after the assailants and ends up saving a wounded Buster McHenry. This unlikely duo sort of team up to take down the criminals, get revenge for Hank's brother's death, and retrieve the spear in Renegade 1989.
All right.
So does that pretty much sum up the story?
I zoned out so hard right there. I don't know what just happened.
So it's a very basic, simple plot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very simple. Not a lot going on there. The movie is, in terms of story, it's very generic, very straightforward, very predictable.
If I'm being honest, I don't have a ton to say about this one.
Yeah, I barely took any notes.
I didn't really write down anything. It is your routine kind of bland crime movie. Not my thing, not really into it. I'm not gonna lie, I was just out of it after like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I watched it, but I was struggling at points to get through it.
It's, it's a very generic kind of crime action movie from the 80s, the late 80s. It kind of follows a typical formula. You got these two unlikely pairs that team up. At first they hate each other, but they slowly develop a bond throughout the movie, and by the end of the movie they like each other. You have your typical big shootout at the end of the movie with the villain and all of his goons.
A cop chase.
You have a cop chase. You got shootouts sprinkled throughout the movie. Characters that are close to our main characters get killed, but you don't feel any emotional connection to them whatsoever, so you're just like, whatever. It's a very forgettable movie. In a couple of hours, I'm probably going to forget everything that I just saw. Look, it was cool to see young Kiefer Sutherland, young Lou Diamond Phillips. To me, that was the best part of the movie. Just them in general. They're decent actors. They had a somewhat interesting dynamic with each other, because Kiefer Sutherland's character was constantly trying to get away from Lou Diamond Phillips. He was wounded, so he had a hard time getting away from him. Score, again, very generic score. There wasn't music playing all throughout the movie. Some scenes didn't have any, some scenes did. It was generic, forgettable, kind of like The Musketeer. Very just kind of, it's there. You may or may not even notice it. It's not going to stand out. It's not anything that's going to blow you away, right?
I don't remember really much about it. I do remember sometimes there was like some Native American sounds when there would be like a Native American character on the screen, but it still was kind of forgettable. It's just not really anything crazy.
Definitely forgettable. Nothing really special cinematography wise.
No.
Very generic. Nothing. There was not a single shot in the movie that I was like, oh, well, that's a neat shot. It was just typical standard stuff for a movie of this nature. What did you think about Kiefer Sutherland and Lou Diamond Phillips acting?
I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
They weren't like phoning it in or nothing.
Right.
It was just good.
So, Devin, what did you think about the villain, Marino, or whatever his name was?
He was just a bland villain with very villain lines and actions and decisions and just, it's hard for me to talk about these kinds of movies, Matt. They're just not, I just don't like this. I don't like action movies. It's really hard for me to talk about movies like this.
I would barely even classify this as an action movie. The action sequences that were there were, the cop chase. You can tell they put a lot of work into that, right? But the action sequences that were there were just generic shootouts where nobody could hit anybody half the time. And
the cops in this movie are kind of dumb. Actually, every character in this movie is dumb,
except for Lou Diamond Phillips' character.
He's definitely got some intelligence.
He had that Native American wisdom. I hope that's a thing and I didn't just offend.
We're so fucked.
What are your final thoughts on Renegades?
Boring, honestly, kind of bland, just 80s kind of low budget action movie, crime movie. It's not anything crazy. Very, very forgettable. Yep,
I 100% agree. Bland, boring, forgettable, generic, predictable. It's definitely, I think you'll agree with me, it's definitely a one and done kind of thing. I'm never going to watch this movie again. I'm sure you're not either. So, you know what that means. That means we are not keeping it, and it's going to be a giveaway. And if you want to learn how to enter that giveaway, go to the Instagram profile VHS.Voyage on Instagram. There will also be a link in the description, and then you can find the post for how to enter the giveaway for Renegades.
If you do want to watch it, you cannot rent it anywhere. It's not available on any sort of streaming. You have to buy the VHS or the DVD. The DVD is really cheap on Amazon though, so that's really the only way you're going to be able to watch it is if you buy it physically.
Yep. Or if you win the giveaway. Although you're going to have to deal with this jittering motion the entire time, so have fun with that. But that is it for today. We appreciate you tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode of VHS Voyage.